Mailbag here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Mailbag time. This is a video where I do this as an appreciation to all the subscribers of this channel, in which I address the comments that have been left to me maybe over the last week or so. And, this is my way of interacting with my fans, given that I don't do my live streams nearly as much as I did. But this is the way that I show my appreciation to y'all, and to let y'all know that I'm paying close attention to what y'all leave on my videos. And I just randomly select different comments, and we discuss whatever topic that is that you left a comment about. So let's get right to it, man. Let's start off. First one comes from my man Billy Brook on the Eddie Hearn is lost when it comes to Kell Brook video. And he says, just because Kell Brook lost to Spence at 147 doesn't mean he can't beat Khan or Pac-Man. Even Porter, Garcia, and Keith, he beat Spence until his eye went. Spence is a dog, and he would beat all of them a lot every time. I guess he's saying time will tell. Well, my thing is, man, Kell Brook, yeah, his eye did go in the fight, and I do accredit that to a lot of Spence's success, especially later on in the fight. But one of the other reasons that was given by not only Kell Brook, but also his promoter, was the fact that he's not the same fight at 147. Eddie Hearn, even today, with the article out today that's talking about maybe a Kell Brook and pursuing a Manny Pacquiao fight, which I think is just clout chasing. Even in that particular, article, Eddie Hearn is saying the same thing again. I don't suggest him going back down 147. I believe he should campaign at 154. Now, for Kell Brook to say he wants to go back to 47, he got to at least tell a reason why he don't want to compete at 54. What's the reason that you don't feel like you don't say it's because of the big fights or the big names? Because there are big names at 154 pounds. To me, Kell Brook made this assertion, or this, I ain't gonna say Kell Brook, Eddie Hearn in this article made the assertion, and yet and still, no reason was given. No reason at all. Just, I'm just going back to 47 because Charlo, Hurd, and Mungia and all those dudes up at 54. He can work his way up. He ain't even got to jump in there with those big dudes. Like he can go through the J-Rocks and stuff like that, man, and try to, work his way back into the contention of things. But Kell Brook has been rated high by the WBC and some other sanctioning bodies. So it's like, yo, man, you got the opportunities if you want a big fight. That's clearly not the reason, and there's a lot more going on, man. All right, let's go to a next one. Let's see what we got. On the Errol Spence Jr. took the slow route. The time is coming soon. Zappa to Boxing says, yeah, he's ducking that VADA testing for sure. And what's up with those dislikes? Damn. You know what I'm saying? Well, I can tell you right now, Zappa to Boxing, anytime you are semi-critical of Errol Spence Jr., when you get to the nitty-gritty and you tell the truth of everybody what happened, a lot of people just don't want to believe it. And I ain't mad at that. You know what I mean? That's boxing, man. Fight fans in boxing, there's a lot of casuals, and there's a lot of people who don't like to do their due diligence, and they just want to believe that a certain fighter is XYZ. So when you break it down of the truth of the matter, people just were like, well, no, that can't be it. That just can't be it. Errol Spence is just ducked. You know what I mean? They just go straight to that assertion. In that particular video, man, I told the story of, Errol Spence Jr. wanted to face Keith, Danny, Sean. Those fights can have happened a lot faster if Errol Spence Jr. would have remained in the WBC, which is real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to remember, man, when Errol Spence Jr. left the WBC, Danny Garcia became the WBC champion. Danny Garcia went into a unification fight after taking a touch here, a touch there. He went on in a unification fight with Keith one-time Thurman. Well, after that fight, Keith Thurman becomes a unified champion. Then he vacates the WBC. Well, who would have been fighting for that vacated WBC if Errol Spence Jr. would have remained in the rankings? It would have been Errol Spence Jr. Correct me if I'm wrong. We wouldn't be talking Showtime Sean Porter versus Danny Garcia for the WBC. We'll be talking Errol Spence Jr. versus somebody else for that possibly WBC. And that's only if he wouldn't have not been a mandatory or something like that. Maybe the WBC would have deemed him a mandatory. You don't know. It would have just came a lot faster than what we going through now. The maybes, the wait on Uncle Al. Well, Al promised me this and this, that, and the third. if fans, come out and see that the promised fight for the winner is somebody else, maybe Keith Thurman or something, they're gonna be disappointed and they're gonna be like, what the hell is going on? Well, guess what? All of that could have been avoided if it went down that way. All that could have been avoided if Errol Spence Jr. would have remained in the WBC. As far as the VADA testing goes, man, I've already broke that down profusely, man, down to a T, and I'm a firm believer, man, that Errol Spence Jr. didn't duck nothing. Errol Spence Jr. just went on his route. You know what I mean? That was the premise of that whole video. His route was the IBF, not the WBC. Everybody got this notion out here where Errol Spence Jr. don't want to sign up for the clean boxer program. Why doesn't he do it? There are fighters who are not ranked in the WBC still signed up. Don't get me wrong. Good for them. Hats off to them. Though it's a good thing in all of our eyes and it shows a lot of transparency, it's not needed. It's not an obligation, if you will. And you look at what Adrian Brown is going through right now. Adrian Brown he ducked the random testing, right? They couldn't find him. They say on his forms he didn't put him where he was going or where he was going to be or whatever like that. And that's the thing, man. When you subject yourself to that clean boxer program, man, they got to know your whereabouts. They got to know your every movement. You never know when they're going to pop up. And if you're not fighting for that sanctioning body, why would you want to put yourself through that kind of scrutiny? It's not so much you ducking drug testing. And let's not also forget that, once again, Errol Spence Jr. took VADA during the Kell Brook fight. Everyone's like, yo, he had the 3 months or so between at the cycle off. Man, I ain't going by that, man. Yo, he took VADA and USADA. He not only took one, but he took 2 different tests. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give me proof before we're going to put Errol Spence Jr. into this category. You got to give me proof. You got Canelo Alvarez and fighters like Alexander Povetkin who had traces and people still didn't want to believe it. You know what I mean? Y'all would believe that Errol Spence Jr., who's never popped up dirty for nothing, he's a dirty fighter because he's trying to avoid a test or whatever. Yeah, it don't add up to me. You know what I mean? So let's move right along to the next one. All right, man, I got my main man, Gary Benson, here on the Errol Spence Jr. took the slow route video. Your point is well taken. While I do believe Porter is hesitant to fight Spence, he probably could have fought at least one of them by now if he went after one of the other belts. I think it still might have been some stalling because Heyman doesn't put pressure on fighters to face each other. But it would have had to happen because Spence would have definitely been a mandatory challenger for one or both Porter and Garcia by now. 100%, my man. You know what I mean? And that's the point that I was trying to get across in that particular video. Though Errol Spence Jr., I don't fault him for going to the IBF. He wanted to become a world champion. You know what I mean? He thought that would raise his stature, which it did. He seen a likely possibly damaged opponent in Kell Brook, so it was a much more easier route to a world title. If you don't think that any other fighter in boxing would want to take an easier route to a world title, you're kidding yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Look at what's going on in the heavyweight division. A lot of these fighters do not want to go through fighters like Luis Ortiz to get to, say, a Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? It's like they would rather take the path of least resistance just to declare themselves a world champion. And even in Errol Spence Jr. case, I can't say that was the case, but it seems like he took the path of least resistance. Plus, it was the faster route. When he was ranked in the WBC, though he was ranked in the top 5 by them putting him up there to face Timothy Bradley, the fact of the matter is he was already the #1 dude in the IBF by that point. So it's like, I'll have a faster chance of getting this fight as opposed to getting another one, you know what I mean, in the WBC, which could have that was what, 2016, 2017? He probably would have been just getting that shot this year. He's been a world champion now since 2017. So he chose the faster route. But if he wants to bring up the fans, the Errol Spence Jr. fans, because I don't hear Spence, I just see Spence doing what Spence is supposed to do. That's call out fighters. I see his rabid-ass fans as the one running around, oh, man, everyone's ducking. Yo, man, y'all got to understand what's going on. This is the route that Errol Spence Jr. chose. This is the reason why I think the man is being so patient, because he know what he did. He know, I took the IBF. There was nobody in the IBF. None of these dudes who I really want to fight and get the recognition for, none of these dudes were there. Even in the Lamont Peterson fight, Lamont Peterson wasn't ranked in the IBF. He was in the WBA, and he dropped his WBA regular title to face Errol Spence Jr. So, that's noteworthy of Lamont Peterson, but Peterson was possibly on his last fight at the time. You know what I mean? So, that's just the way it goes. And I don't see Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia or Sean Porter willing to vacate any title at the time or any positioning that they were in, risk their positioning for that WBC to go and take on a fight for the IBF. Clearly, Sean Porter's already said he's disgusted with the IBF because of how they treated him after the Kell Brook fight. Dropped him out of the top 25. And they couldn't understand it. And Kell Brook went on to face the Frankie Gavins of the world and the other bums. You know what I mean? So it was like, he got to face them, and Sean Porter would have probably wanted a rematch, but the IBF allegedly treated him dirty. Danny Garcia's never had his eye on the IBF. Keith Thurman neither. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason I was trying to make the video. Let's move on, man. Let's see. It seems as on the Ryan Garcia showed a lot against Carlos Morales video, Emerson 2008 said, "This is why you should never rush a fighter. Let them get 25 to 30 fights in. Just like with any profession, experience must be earned to time and repetition." I couldn't agree more. And this is the reason I don't like to see a lot of fight fans criticize up-and-coming fighters. Let's not act like Ryan Garcia is a champion here. You know what I'm saying? He ain't an A-level fighter just yet. He's a guy on the rise. He gets extra scrutiny due to his popularity, which is something that you cannot blame against Ryan Garcia. I think the kid's a work in progress. Definitely has some way to go. And I think with due time, like I said earlier in this video, he'll grow things like his man strength. He'll start to learn repetition more. He'll get his timing down a lot better. He'll know how to control his stamina a lot better. These things come with time. The kid's only 20 years old, newly turning 20 years old. So he has a hell of a lot to learn. What I would suggest, man, hopefully fighters like who rocking with Golden Boy like Bernard Hopkins can get in the ring and show this kid better fundamentals and just, hone his skills and get him better and better. I mean, sharpen that iron. Iron sharpens iron, right? So he needs a good fighter, a Hall of Fame fighter, preferably like a Bernard Hopkins or maybe even an Oscar, to really get in the ring and work with this kid and to work on some skills. But to criticize him now on the rise, on the way up, we don't even know if he'll even make it to the mountaintop yet. So for people to go against this kid now, all because of the trash that he talks, just like any other fighter and just like he should, I think that's just wrong, in my opinion. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. On the Gennady Golovkin has every right to object to the gloves video, Orlando Finney says, now that Canelo doesn't have an advantage using that needle, he's trying to find any way to get an edge in that fight. You said it best, man. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Triple G's camp needs to shut that nonsense down. I agree with you 100%, Orlando, man. Shut it down. And from the news that we've heard in present day, it seems as if the Nevada State Athletic Commission has came against it, and they have obliged the champion in Triple G, and they will not let Canelo Alvarez use those specific gloves, man. It just didn't seem right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I said before, this wasn't a stand-up dude. This Canelo cheating ass, man. This is a dude who came in dirty for a fight. You know what I mean? Look at his size now and look at his size today, Joe. Back in 2006, somebody even had a split screen picture up. 2017 and today, man, that dude looked, man, way smaller, man. Now, I don't know if he took that picture for the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight, which he went above the 160 weight class, but yeah, and still, man, like, man, come on, Joe. Like, that shit just didn't make any sense whatsoever, man. And like I told people, man, Canelo may be the A side because of the draw, you know what I mean? But in a boxing fan mind, though a guy like myself who watched this thing day in and day out, Triple G is the A side due to the hardware that he wears and due to him cleaning out his division. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, come on, Joe. Canelo was always looking for some type of edge, some type of advantage. Can't never be straight up. Got to be at a weight. You know what I mean? Nevada State Athletic Commission, they lost credibility with Adelaide Bird. You know what I mean? Putting that judge in there, then taking up for it in the end. Oh, we stand by Adelaide Bird. Man, get out of here, Joe. We already knew from her reputation in the UFC to her reputation in boxing, man. The woman should never judge another professional fight ever, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So this is that Nevada State Athletic Commission. Man, come on, man. When they first brought this to them, they should have shut it down immediately. Shouldn't even been initially approved, from what I understand. Shouldn't even been there. Bob Bennett had to come out and save face because he's seen the rumblings of the fans like myself, like y'all, saying, yo, we ain't going for this, bro. We ain't going for this at all, man. Moving right along, bro. Moving right along. On that same particular video from Adrian H., I always said Canelo would use loaded gloves. Someone would be paid off from the commission to approve it. And this was before the new gloves were announced to be used. I'm glad Triple G is protesting. Canelo will always try and cheat his way in life, man. I don't know about that part, but I will say, bro, I'm with you, man. I'm glad that they did it too. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the call you made, hell of a call, Adrian, man. Because, yeah, man, like, They initially approved it. If I'm telling y'all, man, if the fans would have never kicked up no dust about this, if we would have just sat back like, well, with the I even heard some uploaders like, yo, man, why, Triple G's camp is whining. I don't see what the problem is if Nevada State Athletic Commission approved it. I've heard videos say that, and I'm sitting back like, what the hell? Hell nah, bro. What Nevada State Athletic Commission you talking about? Shady ass Nevada State Athletic Commission, Adelaide Bird and them? Nah, bro. Come on, Joe. Bob Bennett, who okayed Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor as an actual boxing match and counted it towards Floyd's record? Nah, man, get out of here, Joe. You know what I mean? Nevada State Athletic Commission, though they are the commission of commissions, you know what I'm saying? Man, they got some shit with them sometimes, Joe. And I'm glad they shut this down, man. So good call, Adrian. Good call indeed, bruh. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, I gotta address this one. KJ Scribe on the same video. Man, you are a traitor with that Cowboys hat. I thought you was from the district or the DMV. Shame on you, bruh. You know what I mean? I've replied to that comment with we them boys, man. Look, man, yo, I get it all day, all night. For all those who don't know, I am from D.C. I bleed D.C. I love my city, man. I spill blood on this soil. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But I am a Cowboys fan, man. And that ain't nothing. That was kind of forced on me, Joe. It's a family thing, man. When when your pops or your uncles, they Cowboy fans, is ingrained in you. You sitting back watching these games as a kid, man. You watching it with your pops or your uncles and all of them. Guess what? You gonna become a Cowboy fan too, man. And I was, as a child, man, yo, big fan. I started off with a Herschel Walker and Danny White and all of them, Joe. And then when the Emmett and Detroit teams came along, man, I was just like, oh, die hard to the fullest Cowboys, man. Going to war at school, going to war in these streets, man. To this day, still in very contentious debates, man, on these corners about the Cowboy Redskin thing, man. That's just culture here, man. If you come to the city, man, believe it or not, bro, you may find more Cowboy fans here than actual Redskins, KJ, man. And let's being honest, man. But it's all love here, man. We do it because, yo, it was ingrained in a lot of us DC people, man, that root for the Cowboys. Don't get me wrong, it ain't much honorable, but at the end of the day, it's more than likely been ingrained in us from a younger age, man, from our parents, uncles, and stuff like that. And that's my reason for being a Cowboys fan. Cowboys for life. Moving right along, bro. But I appreciate that comment, though. Moving right along. Let's see. On the same particular Canelo video, Ricky Bass says Canelo learned from Floyd. What he learned was to stack all the odds against the B-side fighter. Yeah, he did pick that up from right after Canelo for Floyd, man. He did become this trickster of a fighter. The Canelo way started to happen. All the shady cherry picking started to happen. You know what I'm saying? And you are right about that, Joe. And I ain't never really thought about it in there. Before Floyd, Canelo was a straight up and down 154 fighter, man. Even he was honest. He was beating good quality names, not trying to come in there with every single advantage in the book. And it's like after Floyd, he did it, man. He turned into Mr. Canelo weight. So I actually agree with that, Mr. Ricky Back. Good observation and hella good eye, bro. Hella good eye. Let's see. Oh, my main man, big fan. Damn, nigga, Canelo's fans will faint on your black ass. Hey, Slip, bring it. I tell them like this, yo. Bring it. I'm right here. I would love to debate any Canelo fan. We could do that any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? Bring it. Bring all the noise. I want all of the Canelo smoke. If y'all want to object to the reason I don't like his gloves and I think the dude trying to get an edge, I say bring it. Bring that noise because I want smoke. Moving right along. You know what I mean? Let's see. My main man Donald Bell on the Eddie Hearn Never Keeps It Real on Luis Ortiz video. AJ and Dillian White both ducked Luis Ortiz. Man, I told that story factual as possible. Of course, you're going to have a bunch of people, oh, man, this is what happened. Oh, no, this is what happened. They just skip over the fact that Anthony Joshua protested to the WBA that Luis Ortiz should not have been the mandatory. You can research this for yourself. They just skipped all over the fact that Eddie Hearn had Luis Ortiz in-house, and he could have easily put on a fight with, say, AJ at that time. And AJ did take a couple fights after he beat Charles Martin for that IBF title. Could have easily took on Luis Ortiz. But the WBA pulled a slick move, man. Though Luis Ortiz shot himself in the foot by testing positive and en route to trying to face Deontay Wilder, the fact still remains, man. The WBA, man, they were anxious to put that title in the Klitschko and AJ fight, man. They didn't let Klitschko fight nobody for the damn belt after he just lost it. And people were like, well, yo, man, I remember seeing some of the comments on that video. Oh, Luis Ortiz stunk up the house with Dave Allen and Malik Scott. So nah, man, Eddie was just trying to build. Eddie was trying to throw Luis Ortiz in there with Jarrell Big Baby Miller at the time, man. They ain't had no intentions on making the AJ fight. AJ was talking Pulev. Who knows what happened after that, man? Y'all need to understand, man. That wasn't gonna happen. Once AJ got his hand on that WBA super title, he had no mandatory. You know what I'm saying? He would have been cruising for goodness knows how long before he would have pivoted to Luis Ortiz. And as for Dillian White did duck Luis Ortiz. I mean, Deontay Wilder told him flat out, beat Ortiz and we can fight. Simple as that. He gave a lot of those heavyweights that ultimatum. Beat Luis Ortiz and I will fight you. You know what I'm saying? No one wanted to take the dang challenge, man. And now in Dillian White's case, now, he was treated a little unfairly, in my opinion, by the WBC. I thought he fought much better competition than Dominic Breazeale. I thought that Dillian White should have been the mandatory and not be fighting fighters to become the second mandatory. You know what I mean? So, in my opinion, you know, Dillian White has the silver title. I thought he should have been the mandatory challenger. But, however, and what is he? They put him in the #1 slot, but he wasn't the mandatory. It was just a clusterfuck by the WBC. And they got to take some responsibility. But as for Dillian White, he still could have took the offer, you know what I mean? It would have been a faster route to Deontay Wilder, but they don't want to go through Luis Ortiz, man. They talk all that noise. When they come to Luis Ortiz, man, he shut them all down. He shut them all up, man. Real talk, man. Moving right along. Let's see. On the video, Daniel Jacobs say second day weigh-ins is his prerogative. Jean Dejean says, if Jacobs Triple G was only for the IBF title, it would have been the same. The point I was making in that video was that Daniel Jacobs said he skipped the next day weigh-in purposely because he didn't want to drain himself and he wanted to concentrate mostly on game plan and he didn't want to worry about the little details and he didn't want to worry about, you know, having the weight cut affect his game plan and all this other shit. And he was down to fight for the other titles, but he just wasn't willing to face, wasn't really tripping off the IBF. Something I just talked about earlier with the Earl Spence Jr. situation. But, yo, man, I mean, maybe basically, Jean Dejean, you saying that even if it was just for the IBF, that's just the game plan that Daniel Jacobs wanted to do. He wanted to come in there built like a tank, big as a house, strong as an ox, and then try to overpower Gennady Golovkin. Well, the thing is, even though Daniel Jacobs came in the way he did, he still got knocked down, and he did not overpower Gennady Golovkin. He's turned into more of a boxer, fought more on his toes, you know what I'm saying? And he still didn't use this newfound size, if you will, to use that against Triple G, at least in a convincing. The one way it did help him was it gave him better punch resistance, I thought, because, you know, Daniel Jacobs is known for being knocked down in fights. And he even been stopped in the past by Dimitri, what was his name? Perot, I forget his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like Daniel Jacobs gets knocked down in fights. And I think one of the main reasons he did it to acquire that size, because he was fully aware that Triple G was going to come in there with that power. He even said it himself that he heard during sparring that Triple G was fighting heavyweights and all this other stuff and knocking down, you know, light heavyweights and heavyweights. So he knew what he was doing, man. That was the game plan of Daniel Jacobs, was to come into that fight big, to try to take punches from Gennady Golovkin, to have better punch resistance from a bigger size and things like that. And it kept him from getting knocked out. I will say that. He lost the fight, but it kept him from getting knocked out. So maybe you're right, bro. Let's go. Moving right along, man. Let's see. Moving. Okay. On Angel Garcia, Danny lost to Thurman was politics video. My main man, Monty Brown TV. For those who not subscribed, please go on over to subscribe to Monty Brown TV, man. I love that brother's channel, man. Good boxing fan, good boxing mind. You know what I mean? I tune in for his live streams all the time, man. That dude know what he's talking about, man. He's been on this channel. I've had him on this channel in live streams. Really good dude to talk boxing with, man. But he says, big facts. I got Sean winning this fight. I just don't see how Danny is going to stop the aggression of Sean. Cardio is too good. I'm with you 100%. That's the point I raised in that particular video. You know, the aggression has always gave Danny Garcia problems. I mean, this is the reason I believe that Danny Garcia is going to try to come in as the stronger fighter. I mean, he'll look to come in there, counterpunch, be the stronger guy to withstand Sean Porter's aggression, and then look to counterpunch him solid. You know, Danny Garcia doesn't fight on his toes. He's more flat-footed, and he gets that power from his legs, man, and he brings it. You know what I mean? But however, in previous fights, at least at previous weights, with the likes of a Mauricio Herrera, the likes of a Lamont Peterson, Danny Garcia doesn't perform well with aggression. When someone makes him very uncomfortable, when they rally right in his face. Even when Keith Thurman was earlier on in their fight, Keith had so much success because he was standing right there trading with Danny. I don't know where Danny gets this thing that Keith Thurman was running. Go back to that fight, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how long it's been. Showtime has recently posted that fight here on YouTube, and I watched it now a couple times, man. Yo, Keith Thurman, for those least first 5-6 rounds, man, Keith was right there with Danny, Joe, standing in his face, swinging those haymakers, and and he was laying a lot of leather on Danny. Danny was trying to, work his counter shots in there here and there, but yo, he eats a lot of leather when he's sitting there trying to counter. So that's what I'm saying, man. When it comes down to aggression, making Danny Garcia uncomfortable, in the past, it's been proven not to really work out that good for Danny. We know the kind of fighter that Showtime Sean Porter is. On top of that, he's employed the services of Barry Hunter in his corner in this particular fight, the former trainer of Lamont Peterson. So if anybody knows and they've seen it firsthand how Danny handles aggression, it's Barry Hunter. I'm not expecting for Sean Porter and them to come out with the game plan and say, well, this is what we're going to do. But I have heard Sean Porter allude to the fact that they are looking to make Danny Garcia very uncomfortable in this fight at points in the fight. We'll see how that play out. I think it's going to play in Showtime Sean Porter's favor, if you ask me. You know what I mean? All right, we're getting close to the end. Moving to the next one. I got to read this one right here. Once again by my main man, Donald Bell, on the Barry Hearn Tells the Truth Again video. How can you UK sheep still believe that AJ wants to fight Wilder? Barry just told you fools that they don't want to fight Wilder. If you fools think Al Heyman, Shelly Finkel, and Showtime needs Frank Warren to raise money, you are stupid. You fools just won't accept and admit that AJ turned down the $50 million he asked for. AJ is a cherry-picking, scary-ass coward. He only fighting Povetkin because he was a mandatory and he was avoiding Wilder. Look, bro, I need to give you a round of applause for that one, Donald, man. I mean, you hear from the horse's mouth himself. This didn't come from AJ or Wilder or Finkel or whoever you want to put in the mix, Lou DiBella, whoever, the Santa Claus, whoever. This came from Barry Hearn, straight from the boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you swing this around in a spin cycle, Joe? No way, no how. And to say that Al Heyman needs Shelly Finkel and Showtime to raise the $50 million, that's bull. We seen a picture of Deontay Wilder on his social media. He was sitting there with LL Cool J on one side, Dr. Dre on the other. Al Heyman, concert promoter with connections to anybody that's anybody in the music business. You don't think he can gather a group of investors to honestly power up a $50 million bag to send on over there? Man, y'all tripping, Joe. Tripping. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget how Al Heyman got the PBC started from the jump. Waddell and Reed, that group of investors, he got a group of investors to put that startup money out there, man. So look, man, the man Al Heyman has proved time and time and again, when it comes to getting bags, if he want to get next to a bag, the work ain't hard. He can call up some people and get that bag going. You know what I'm saying? But for people to sit there and just act like the man didn't say what he said, I'm just baffled by it, Joe. Like, y'all UK the UK fanboys. I ain't gonna, I'll never blanket the whole UK fan base, but the fanboys, man, I just don't get y'all, Joe. Time and time again, y'all been proven wrong, man. Y'all just hang on every little thing that Eddie Hearn tells y'all, man, as if Eddie Hearn ain't in this to make a profit off y'all ignorance. You dig? Man, but like I said, I don't like to jump down to UK fans too much, because one thing I learned, like I said before, from living over there for a short period of time is, they see two different medias. We get one set of media over here, they get another set of media over there. So clearly the media that they reading and looking at over there is telling them one thing, and we seeing what's really going on over here. You know what I mean? But man, don't act like it didn't come from the horse's mouth, because the more and more that y'all say that Wilder avoided the fight and blah, 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 that interview with Barry Hearn, man, is just going to always come around to haunt y'all and make your argument totally freaking valid, man. Hands down, man. Moving right along, man. Let's see what we got here. On the Kenny Porter gets reckless from a father's point of view, Michael Murphy says, I don't think he was talking about the fans. He was talking about all the dopes on YouTube. That particular, let me say this, man. Dopes on YouTube pay Kenny Porter. Dopes on YouTube, they're the ones that, if it wasn't for these dopes that promote the fights that Kenny Porter's son's in, that pays Kenny Porter through subscriptions and their viewership and things like that, man, yo, they deserve, they can say what the hell they want because they paying customers. That's first and foremost. Now, secondly, let's not act like Kenny Porter. I heard I did a video on it. I heard him on Dante the other day, and he's getting into it with another fellow YouTuber. And let's not, now people were jumping on that dude about, yo, he doing all the yelling and screaming, and I seen the comments, why Dante got him on this, then, and third, man. Let me tell y'all, man, this is what I'll be getting about fight fans. That kid that did that, what's his name? Ticket TV. Shout out to Ticket TV. That kid that did that for you. He didn't do that just to make himself look good. He did that for me. He did that for you and any other fight fan that's on here. How many times have we told ourselves we tired of the media giving these people passes? When I listened to that particular video, Kenny was attempting to dodge in many different ways. I remember his initial statement, Joe, when the man said, yo, take your 2 days off. And I remember him alluding to the fact of, oh, I know that's going to be tough for you. Dog, that's where he crossed the line at right there. You know what I mean? Now, if he want to say, look, man, I don't appreciate being called out of my name, blah, 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 that's one thing. But the Kenny selectively try to say, oh, I'm not talking about the fans. Yes, you were, bruh. When you talk about a man economics, that's the problem. I fight fans economics. That's what Kenny crossed the line at. He attempted to clean it up. And then even in that particular video that he was going back and forth with the kid Ticket, like, yo, he was being real selective with that, man. Oh, man, this is what I was trying to say. Nah, man, we heard you loud and clear the first time. You tried to allude to the fact that somebody didn't have enough money to make it to the floor and to take your 2 days off. That's what he said, man. You don't do that from a trainer's point of view, especially operating on the top level. Now, are there people on YouTube that call fighters out of their names and do this and do that? Sure they are. But this is YouTube. You know what I'm saying? The fans run this shit. We passionate about boxing. You know what I mean? Boxing fans are the most passionate fans, probably next to, well, I ain't gonna say football and soccer fans. Y'all some passionate motherfuckers, but you know what I'm saying? But boxing fans are very passionate, man. And when you keep jerking us around and you hoping that the media throw these softball questions to you, you can do stuff like that. You can dance. On YouTube, people ain't gonna let them get away with it, at least the trill ones, you know what I'm saying? So I actually appreciated what Ticket did, and I know that he didn't do that just to, I don't think, to make himself be XYZ. I think he did that to be a voice for everybody, every boxing fan, that is. And he's even acknowledged it. Like, yo, man, I did this for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we should all feel the same kind of way. And I agree with that 100%. We sick and tired of letting these dudes tell us anything, get away with anything. And if you do not challenge them in a passionate manner, they're going to try to pull a wool over your eyes. So y'all can take it for what that may be. But the fact is, I've already told the full story, so hopefully everybody can understand from both sides that Errol Spence Jr. plays a part in this as well. But the fact of the matter is, man, dude, like he was attempting to swerve, and he was attempting to be very selective in that interview. And, maybe a guy like Ticket TV has heard it all before, and he tired of hearing the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad at him. And I know he did that for me and you. So let's just look at it from that standpoint. He is a fellow fan. You know what I mean? Let's see. On that same particular video, Harold Tim says, Kenny said, we the fans don't know the IBF rules. But truth be told, it was Sean that said, if Spence wins a belt, I'll fight him. Then later on, he said, Spence isn't on my radar. Those two facts sound like a duck. I'm not broke and I'm not dealing with this fight. I only care about the winner. Be well. Spoken very, very well, Harold Tim. And I agree with you 100%. I believe it was, I don't know which channel I saw it on. I think it was 78 Sports TV. Somebody had played the audio of Showtime Sean Porter saying exactly that. And then we got Kenny Porter out here talking about, oh, that never happened. And then he's debating the fact that Errol Spence Jr. and Sean Porter's spawn, footage and all of this other stuff, man. Kenny was being real selective. We know what he meant, man. And just like you said, bro, Sean Porter did say those statements. Kenny was trying to talk around those things when we, the fans, are not stupid. Stop treating us like we stupid. And like you said, Harold Tim, I'm not broke and I'm not dealing with this. Yeah, he alluded to that fans were broke. And they had to work a 9 to 5 and only had 2 days off and all that other jazz. I'm gonna assure Kenny Porter, like right now, I'm far from broke, bruh. I'm far from broke. And I can get down on that floor if I really wanted to. I can fly to anywhere in the world that Kenny Porter is at the snap of a finger. I'm far from broke, but I just don't talk about things like that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, Kenny Porter shouldn't talk like that. And that's the problem that I had with it. If you want to talk trash or whatever like that, and you want to take up for the kid, you are our father. I totally understand that point of view. But don't insult fight fans. And most importantly, don't insult the fight fans' economics when we the ones digging in our freaking pocket and paying for your damn fights. If it wasn't for us, you would not be living that life of luxury that you like to brag about, bruh. Trust and believe. You know what I mean? And that's just real talk. Real talk. All right, I'll do one more before we shut this down. I've been going way longer than I expected. Let's see. And this is the last comment I'll probably do with on the Eddie Hearn Never Keeps It Real on Luis Ortiz Ibic Aki or whatever. Ibic Aki says this is a twisted storyline to suit your LDBC agenda. First and foremost, I'm not in the LDBC. I have tremendous respect for the LDBC and everything that they do. I wish them brothers nothing but the best. I love their passion. I love what they're doing for the sport of boxing. I love the fact that they're taking the narrative back from all of these soft-ass media outlets and they're putting it into the fight fans' hands, man. I love what the LDBC is doing in boxing. I respect a lot of those brothers over there. I've spoke to some of those brothers over there. You know, some of those brothers they've left several comments on my videos. I've never been disrespected by none of them over there, man. They all have their opinions. They all have their point of views, just like me and you. And I applaud the fact that they have shown unity in the boxing community. That's first and foremost. But I am not LDBC. I've not been asked to join that. I haven't joined that movement yet. I stand on my own 2 feet. That's first and foremost. So for anybody who wants to come in, this is a future reference, man. And I know some of y'all like my main man Sean Newton, you know, that's my guy, and I will always rock with Sean Newton because he rocks with me. Let that not be misunderstood by any means. But for everyone who loves to come here and trash the LDBC for whatever reason, this ain't the place. I've said it several times in the past. This ain't the place. You know what I mean? If you got a problem with them, you go tell them. That's how men do. We don't go on other videos and just try to get people to, you know, just because you hear me say something that counters maybe one of their opinions and try to, oh, well, yeah, yo, you're not LDBC, or yeah, they this, they that. Nah, this ain't the place because I got respect for the LDBC. I came into this YouTube thing listening to Blood Boxing and 78 Sports TV. Truth be told, 78 Sports TV is clearly everybody's favorite channel, whether you love them or hate them. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you can't, and you got to appreciate for how long them brothers been putting in work. You know what I mean? So I got love for 78. I got love for Blood. You know, anybody else over there? Who else? Black Fight Fan TV. I like all of them. You know what I mean? We have a difference of opinions of times. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? At the end of the day, what those brothers do for the sport and what they're doing for themselves, showing unity, speaks volumes. You know what I mean? And y'all can learn a thing or two from that. And that's being honest. So I'll conclude this edition of Man's Mailbag right here with that last one right there. There's plenty more comments I can get to, but right now we've been running for a minute, man. I think we pushing damn near an hour on this video now. Well, we at 37 minutes, but that's still kind of long, and I don't know how many of y'all have tuned out, man. Let me know if y'all want me to continue these mailbags. I enjoy doing them. I know y'all ready for me to move on to the live stream portion of things, man, but just been very busy, man. Just been extremely busy in my private. Got a lot of things going on, and I will be coming back on the live streams. I want to get into the debate mode. I want to get channels on here that don't agree with me. That's the point. That's what I'm really looking forward to. The people I have had on this channel, we are in agreements on a lot of topics. I want those who do not see eye to eye with me, and I want to get you guys on the live stream. That's the goal for me right there, man. But I appreciate all of the support that y'all been giving me, man. I've been getting y'all DMs, man. Oh, for those who don't know, I just kind of started being interactive with my Instagram. Y'all can go check me out over there on Instagram also, where I'm always posting videos. I'm always posting like little 1 minute quick clip videos. Y'all can go and check me out at Main Man over on Instagram, and I appreciate that. The growth that this channel has seen this year is my biggest year to date, ladies and gentlemen. I have signed up the absolute most subscribers, and I've been doing this now going on 3.5 years. This has hands down been my best year. The support that I'm attracting, I really appreciate it. I'm looking for a rainbow coalition of all types of fight fans, not no one demographic. I am really aiming for a rainbow coalition of everyone. You know what I mean? That's just my personal goal for this particular channel. I thank y'all for keep tuning in. I thank for my regulars who are always here, who always leaving me comments, who always hitting me up behind the scenes, who participates in my boxing forum, man. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I tell you to continue to tune in here. Some people, I got hit in a DM and they was like, yo, man, won't you get into the interview game? And just know here in this city, we got Jared Hurd, we got Gary Russell Jr. I got access to those gyms like the snap of a finger. I got people right next to those fighters as we speak. It's nothing but a phone call away. I'm just not there, man, because that's when you got to start bending and folding, man. I like to stand on my own free will. I like to sit here and talk my stuff, whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. I love the fact that I can just say this stuff and not have an agenda, not have a master to please. I like that, you know what I mean? So when y'all ask me to do those type of things, don't think I can't, because I can easily do it. I repeat, easily do it. I just don't want to. You know what I mean? And I like being main man, made man, who just does his own thing by himself. Real talk. And that's just me. So for those who wondering why, that's mainly the reason right there. But it can definitely, if I see enough fanfare on here to say start doing that, then I'll do that. I'll make some phone calls and I'll make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. So to the next video, Main Man Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man Made Man Boxing Forum. Google Plus, Main Man Made Man. I appreciate you all. Peace out.